Chucky, and let's start recording now. Hello, everybody, to Totally Dacob. I am in my Halloween attire, and I will be, because it is Halloween as I'm filming, and I will be reviewing Chucky, Season 1, Episode 2, which I just watched. So, spoiler alert, this is going to be interesting. Chucky is with me. I am dressed to impress. Now, the whole episode, from here on out, spoiler alert. You have been warned. It is Halloween in episode 2, so it is very time appropriate. The setting is gorgeous. Don Mancini, creator, director, writer, everything of Chucky, the series, and Chucky, just nailed it. Again, I've said this before and I'm repeating it here. It feels like watching Pedro Almodovar, one of my favorite Spanish directors, directing an American series. It's that beautifully shot, the attention to detail, the aesthetics. It's just so delicious. So every shot is, you could frame it. You could print out the screenshot and just frame it. The way he portrays Halloween, delicious. The cinematography is warm. The orange hues, the golden hues, those autumn lights are just so wonderfully portrayed, despite all of the cliches you might see, because, you know, they were not shooting during Halloween, I suppose. So they had to set it up to look like Halloween. Maybe they did put some artificial leaves all around. But then again, John Carpenter did the same in 1978 when they shot Halloween. Because they were not shooting during the season, and it was really hard for them to find the leaves. But anyway, it's just, the setting is just magnificent. Jake now has an issue. In episode 1, his father died because this little guy killed him. And now he moved in to live with his uncle, who is the twin of his father. Again, that duality. Jake has moved into his new bedroom, which is within this ginormous villa where his uncle with his wife lives, together with his cousin, the male cousin, Junior Wheeler. So he moved into his bedroom, which is set up to look like the Black Lodge. It literally has the red curtains, the red walls, the zigzag walls, black and white. I mean, Don Mancini references Twin Peaks like nobody else. And in fact, in episode 2, one thing I didn't mention in end of episode 1, that's how we begin in episode 2, is Chucky is alone in the bedroom, in Jake's bedroom with Jake, and tells him, so what are we going to do with your bullies, basically? First and foremost, the girlfriend of Junior, who bullies Jake like nobody else. She is such a terrible bully. But we're going to discover in episode 2 that she herself has a lot of trouble and problems, issues with her family. Her mom and dad kind of pay more attention to her smaller sister than to her. Nobody really listens to her. So in a way, Lexi is her name. She's becoming a bully, or she has become a bully just because she's a spoiled rich girl who nobody really listens to. So in a way, it's complicated, the duality there as well. But we have this red room, or the Black Lodge scenario, which is Jake's bedroom, where Chucky starts manipulating him because Chucky wants to slowly but surely get Jake to start killing. Jake doesn't want to. So the episode begins with Jake going to school. Some of the kids apologize to Jake for having made fun of him in episode 1 after his father passed away. So they, send their condolences, right, Chucky? And they invite Jake to a Halloween party that night or the next day. The episode plays around Halloween. So Junior meets up with Lexi. They are dating, and he asks her, what are you going to dress up for on Halloween? She says, oh, it's going to be incredible. It's a surprise. You just wait and see. So Junior doesn't know what Lexi's going to wear. Jake has another encounter with his kind of love interest. The other guy, I forget his name again, who has a true crime podcast, or a podcast about criminality in general. It's a little bit like Riverdale. Every episode begins with the boy from the podcast kind of reading a chapter from his own podcast about the city which we are in right now. So we have Charles Lee Ray, the killer who is possessing the body of Chucky, who comes from that city. And we hear stories about the city, about how complicated it is in the city during Halloween, how a lot of people lose their lives during Halloween. And he lists a couple of examples of what has happened in the past with people cutting their hands while trying to carve pumpkins and what have you. It's a little bit like Jughead in Riverdale kind of reading to us the story of Riverdale. That's a little bit the mood that we have. It is a teenager coming of age story after all. So it does call for a teenager voice telling us what is going down. Very similar to what John Hughes delivers in Breakfast Club, where the movie begins with a letter written to the principal / teacher of the school in which all the kids are going to be united in for detention on a weekend. That's for Breakfast Club, John Hughes. But here we have Jake going to school and going back home. Before he gets back home, Chucky is alone at home with the cleaning lady. He teases the cleaning lady. He, makes noises, sounds, drops vases on the floor that break. She turns around, looks at them, and wonders, how did this happen? Chucky has a drop of blood on his cheek, which she wipes off. It's very spooky, but deliciously filmed. And again, the cinematography is amazing, casting amazing too. She goes to the kitchen, opens the drawer. She's cleaning up the house. It's a humongous mansion of a house. And she notices that the knives are kind of all missing, really. So she goes to the dishwasher, opens it, and all the knives are in the dishwasher, but they're facing upwards with the actual... You did that, didn't you, Missy? They're all facing upwards, all of the knives. And she kind of looks at them and she's about to lift them. And then Chucky runs from behind her and slaps her on the butt cheek. She kind of trips, falls head down on all of these knives. And of course, you can imagine what happens. The kids come back home. As they come back home, we notice that Junior doesn't know anymore the code to seal off the alarm in the house, but Jake knows it because he's been listening to his uncle. So Junior is annoyed that Jake knows more about these little details than he knows by now, because Jake is developing some sort of relationship with his uncle. Parental relationship, obviously. Get your minds out of the gutter. So they go to the kitchen. Jake opens the fridge, gets something to eat, and says, "Hey, would you like one too?" Junior repeats, "Don't you dare ask me if I want something from my home. This is my stuff. You don't offer me my stuff." So there's like the jealousy, envy going on there. Jake says, "What is your problem, dude? Like, why are you so annoyed with me?" He turns around and sees the dead cleaning lady in the kitchen. He says, "Call 911 immediately." Junior is shocked. The police come. It's the same police we had in episode 1, the mother of Jake's infatuation. She is the main cop. She says, "Oh, what a coincidence that we have 2 deaths within like a couple of days, and all surrounding Jake." So she starts kind of implying and questioning Jake's uncle and aunt. Like, is Jake okay? Has he shown that he doesn't like the cleaning lady? Is he behaving differently or strangely? They said, no, he's not. Then she said, what about Junior? Is Junior behaving in a strange way? And then the parents say, how dare you insinuate that our son did this? So anyway, there's this issue. However, the camera footage of the house, surrounding the house, not within the house. Apparently there are no cameras inside the house. How could there be? Otherwise they would be filming Chucky running around the whole time. So maybe within the writing, there's a little bit of an issue there. Such a very rich and huge mansion of a building, you would have cameras all over the house on the inside, but they don't, because if they would have the cameras would have caught Chucky running around the house. But apparently the cameras are only filming the outside premises of the building. So the police say, sorry guys, let me take a sip, that it couldn't have been the boys. They were at school when this incident happened. Nobody broke into the house. Nobody entered the house before the lady was killed or before she died. So it's a mystery. Who did it? We don't know. You know. Anyway, so we're kind of building up towards Halloween night, but of course Jake runs to his bedroom. Chucky's there, and he starts fighting with Chucky and says, "What did you do?" And Chucky says, "I did not kill her. It was an accident. I have bigger fish to fry. I have bigger plans for you and I. I did not kill her. It was an accident. Accidents happen." Now, he didn't technically kill her, but he slapped her, she fell, and then the knives were there. He probably set the knives up. So he did. But he's lying to Jake. He's manipulating him. He's working on Jake, right? And Junior overhears some sort of noises coming from Jake's bedroom, right? And well, anyway, Chucky and Jake have a fight. Chucky hits Jake. This is where, for the first time, I feel like, oh, okay, this is getting mean. So anyway, we hear a huge hit. We don't see Chucky hit Jake. But anyway, fast forward to Halloween night. Lexi and her little sister, the little tiny sister, who seems to be autistic, or she has some sort of comportamental attitude of some sorts, because the parents are very concerned about her. And we see her little sister drawing Chucky, and she drew Chucky perfectly. And the mother and father, who are already dressed as, I think she was dressed as Marie Antoinette, and the father is somebody else. The mother is the mayor of the city. So they're super happy that, you know, they have all that power. They're going to the party, and they look at the drawing of Lexi's sister and they say, "Wow, this is amazing. You're so good, honey." And she says, "Yeah, I like Chucky a lot. I hope Chucky likes me." And they say, "Wow, you even remember Chucky's name. Would you like us to ask Jake to bring Chucky to make you, you know, to let you meet Chucky?" She says, "I don't know if he's going to like me." They say, "Why wouldn't he like you? He's just a doll." Lexi says, "Well, I got to go get ready." You know, Lexi's annoyed that the parents are giving all the attention to her smaller sister. She wants to go to the Halloween party, and the parents say, "You're not going. You got to take care of your little sister. We're going out for the Halloween party as mayor and first husband." And there's some interview they have to do as well. And so you are going to stay here and take care of your little sister. Lexi's super annoyed by this, obviously, spoiled as she is. She runs off. The little sister keeps drawing Chucky. Back to the Wheeler house. Junior is going down the staircases. Junior is dressed up like his dad. His dad is putting a lot of pressure on him to perform, to be an athlete, to be the best athlete there is. He, at the beginning of the episode, tells Junior, "Hey, step up your proteins. Your protein intake has to be higher. You gotta get ready for those finals or whatever sportive activity he has to do. You gotta be the best. You gotta be the first, just like I was when I was your age." So we see the pressure on Junior. So Junior, for Halloween, dresses up as his dad, borrowing all the medals that his dad won when he was a teenager. He said, "My Uber is here. I'm leaving now." And the dad says, "Well, where's Jake?" And Junior's so annoyed that they always keep asking about Jake, that the priority always seems to be Jake. So he just leaves, steps into the Uber, and goes. Jake comes down the staircase. His uncle and aunt look at him and say, "Wow, your makeup is impeccable." Practically, Jake has a black eye. We know that's not makeup. In fact, Jake looks at them for a second and doesn't understand what do they mean with makeup. And then he realizes, oh, the black eye. Well, so he goes along with the charade and says, "Oh yeah, that's my makeup." It was Chucky who hit him. And he said, "I changed my mind. I'm not going anymore to the Halloween party." Now, at this point, his aunt and uncle, the uncle is sure that he wants to keep Jake with him. The aunt is starting to doubt it. The aunt is starting to plant seeds into the uncle and tell him, "Hey, maybe we should not keep Jake with us. Maybe we don't know how to deal with a gay kid. And, no. Maybe somebody else is better equipped to deal with it." Of course, the uncle says, how dare you? No. While they're conversing about other things, not this, Jake runs down the staircase again and says, "Where's Chucky?" And they say, "What do you mean?" He's like, "He's missing. He's not in my room anymore." "Okay, I've changed my mind. I'm going to the Halloween party," because he knows that Chucky wants to kill Lexi. Now that Chucky escaped, Jake changes his mind and also wants to go to the party, because even though Lexi is the biggest bully, he still doesn't want Chucky to kill her. So he walks through the neighborhood. We have this wonderful scenario in the darkness of Halloween, kids trick-or-treating, simple costumes, but so deliciously styled. Everything is impeccably Halloween. And we see Chucky, the cutest little scene ever. He is wearing the Hello Kitty mask with the poked out eyeballs. It's a dead Hello Kitty. So Chucky has a Hello Kitty mask, and he's kind of wobbling with his little nuggets, because he got these little nuggets. He's like, walking around with the Hello Kitty mask, and a little bag of where he goes with which he goes trick-or-treating with, and Jake is behind him but doesn't see him and veers to another side while Chucky kind of evades, and alas, they separate. Jake does not find Chucky. Chucky is looking for the party. Where is this party where Lexi's going to? So he goes to a house with his little Hello Kitty adorable, by the way, the cutest thing ever. He is so cute. I mean, how is it even possible? Anyway, he goes up to the porch of one of these houses. A lady opens up, sees him. I mean, he's super tiny, so she thinks he's a kid. He says, trick or treat, he said, but lady, if you tell me something, I might give you a treat. If you don't tell me something, I might give you a trick. She says, okay, well, what do you want? He says, well, where is the big Halloween party happening tonight? She's like, aren't you a little bit too small for that? He's like, I might just give you a trick. She says, okay, well, the party is down the block somewhere, blah, blah, blah. He says, oh, thank you. I'm going to give you a treat. He grabs into his little pumpkin trick-or-treat bag or satchel and gives her a green apple. Now, here we have a little flashback to the beginning of the episode. I didn't want to say it at the beginning. I'm saying it now because it's connected to this apple. We have a flashback to 1965 when Charles Lee Ray was still a human being. As a child, he was a small kid, and he went trick-or-treating, and he brought back a lot of candy, and amongst the candy was also a green apple. He lifts the green apple, looks at it, and sees that there is a razor inside of the apple. So that means that in his city, there is another serial killer or somebody who wants to harm children. And he sees the razor poking out of the apple. And you would think as a child, as an innocent child, that he would throw that apple away. No, instead, what does he do? He pricks himself on it, he puts his finger on it, starts bleeding, and then he takes the apple and chews the razor and starts bleeding out of his mouth. And that's kind of the flashback to 1965, back to real time. Now he gives the lady an apple. We don't see a razor in the apple, but we connect the dots. He gave her the green apple, and he's off to the party. In the meanwhile, Chucky has found his way to the party and is looking for Lexi. Lexi has arrived to the party as well. Well, she was there from the get-go. But Junior arrives to the party and is looking for her, finds her in a bedroom, and she's still not dressed. And he said, what are you going to wear? She's like, wouldn't you like to know? Be patient. He's like, I have no patience. I want it now. And then she says, oh, come to daddy. And then she kind of wants to have, sex with him. So they start making out on the bed. While all of this is happening, Chucky, now I don't know why they edited it like this. We don't know how Chucky found his way into the mansion where the party's taking place, but he is in the cellar playing video games with Lexi's sister, the small sister that was drawing Chucky. So we have no clue how he met her. We have no clue how he came to that house. We have no clue how he started talking to the little sister. And we have no clue when they started playing video games. But they are playing run and shoot or shoot and run, whatever video game. There's a lot of blood in that video game. And Chucky and the little sister are talking. And Chucky is asking the sister, like, hey, where's Lexi? How's it going? He tells her, like, your sister is a bitch. We got to kill her. And the little sister is like, no, my mom says it's not nice to be mean and to say nasty words. And then he says, yeah, well, your mother's a bitch. And it's like, it's all a mess. Like, he says, Lexi's on my top priority list to kill because she's mean and she needs to go. And then Lexi's little sister keeps telling Chucky, like, he can't talk like that because her mom says you got to be polite. And then Chucky says, your mom is moving right up on the top of my list. Just keep going. And your mom is going to be on top of that list. So but we have a lot of humor in this terror of a scenario because he keeps throwing puns and jokes, and it's just scary but hilarious at the same time. So then we have cut to Chucky all of a sudden found his way to the bedroom where Lexi and Junior are on the bed making out. How he went up there? No clue. I guess they had issues figuring it out because the whole building or the house is full of kids, trick-or-treaters, everybody's in masks. So how can Chucky kind of run around so tiny as he is and not be seen by anybody? Because mind you, everybody kept telling Jake before the party, hey, come to the party, bring Chucky with you, because we loved what you did at the talent show with Chucky while you were being the ventriloquist of the situation. Now he said, you know, he wasn't the ventriloquist, it was all Chucky. So anyway, Chucky became popular and all the kids told Jake, come to the Halloween party, bring Chucky with you. So could you imagine if Chucky was walking alone through the house? Of course, everybody knew him from the talent show already. They would have picked him up or something. So I guess there is a flaw in the logic here, in the writing. They didn't know how to deal with this issue, so they just avoided, the writers just avoided completely this issue. So Chucky is on the porch of the lady who he gave the apple to. Cut. Chucky is in the basement with the little sister playing video games. We have no clue how he got there. Cut. Chucky is under the bed in the bedroom with Lexi and Junior. We have no clue how he got there. And he has a knife. So from underneath the bed, he tries to stab her and him from underneath the bed. But an unfortuitous, or fortuitous for the kids, turn of events happens, and every time he pokes through the mattress, she's either turning to the side to kiss Junior, or they're stepping up because they're having a sort of a little bit of a fight there because Junior doesn't seem to know how to kiss a girl, really. It's his first time. She's annoyed that he's not really good at it. So they keep kind of moving and turning in the bed, and every time he pokes with his knife, he never stabs them. So there's this kind of whole comedic moment where he's like so upset underneath the bed that he cannot get them. And right when he's about to stab her for real, the door opens, she stands up in the bed and he doesn't stab her yet again. Other people come in and say, what are you doing in the bedrooms? Anyway, so they leave and she says, I'm going to get dressed now. How she gets dressed, when she gets dressed, we do not see that at all. In the meanwhile, Jake arrives into the mansion to the party, is looking for Lexi. Everybody asks, where's Chucky? Where's Chucky? He's like, where's Lexi? They're like, why is everybody looking for Lexi? Why do you want Lexi? And then one of the kids says, oh, she's in this closet. And he finds on his way to the closet, not funny, his little love interest, the kid he's infatuated by, who does the podcast. So they're now looking for Lexi together. The kids push both of them into the closet. It's the kissing closet. They call it the closet of hell. So, you're locked in there for 7 minutes. They're kind of making fun of them like, aha, the two boys are going to make out now. But in reality, the two boys are not making out because Jake is super scared for Lexi. He doesn't want Chucky to keep killing. Also because he knows that everything Chucky does, the blame is going to fall on Jake, because who's going to believe him that there's a killer doll on the loose? So anyway, his love interest looks at the black eye and says, oh my gosh, that makeup. He's like, no, let's not talk about it, whatever. So they're let out after 7 minutes. He rushes into the main atrium or hallway of this building where the party is taking place. And we have the most gruesome scene psychologically ever, because in episode 1, Jake's father is electrocuted. Chucky electrocutes him, and we see his death through electric execution. Oh gosh, really? Dacob. Anyway, so Lexi, that's her costume for Halloween. That little bitch dressed up as Jake's father being electrocuted. So she got a wig with like really like exploding hair all upwards, like electrocuted hair. She has the beard like his dad, the same outfit, the worker outfit that his dad had. And she's in the middle of the room, like shaking like she's being electrocuted, making fun of Jake's loss. His dad, who just passed away a couple of days ago. And there she is, dressed as his father, dying of electrocution. Electrocution. There you go. That's the one. That's the word. So it is vile and disgusting. It is so disgusting. And the kids are all laughing. You know how evil kids can be. And Jake is shocked. And he turns around to his friend, the podcast friend, and says, the podcast friend is like, well, what's going on? He's like, well, she dressed up as my dying father. So first he leaves, super upset. The other kid runs after him. Then he stops outside and says, you know what? No, I'm not going to let her get away with this. I'm going to show her how it is to be a bully, And then he kind of runs back into the house. At that point, we don't really know what happens. We know that she survives the night. She, again, doesn't have her costume on anymore. She's with Junior. Junior is upset with her. He's angry that she's been such a bitch, even though Junior has his issues with Jake as well. Jake with his, black eye. At some point, he's back home with Chucky because he finds Chucky. He finds Chucky in the room where Lexi is with her little baby sister. Chucky's about to kill Lexi from the back, but then Jake comes in, Chuck, and a lot of other kids come in. So Chucky kind of freezes all of a sudden. Jake sees him, takes him. Lexi turns around, sees Chucky, and she says, this doll freaks me out. Why is this doll everywhere I am? So he takes Chucky back home. Now we're back home, back to the Wheeler house. And Junior kind of keeps hearing weird stuff. He thinks that in some way, shape, or form, Chucky... Well, I don't know. He thinks Jake is talking to himself, okay? He's starting to think that Jake is crazy. In the meanwhile, the police officer, the mother of the podcast kid, I have to remember his name, she's asking him, like, hey, Jake is, gay, we know, and has he been strange in any sort of way? And then the kid is like, Mom, are you asking me this as a police officer or as a concerned mother? Or are you asking me this because it's your job? And then she says, I'm asking you this for all the reasons, actually, because something is really awkward. He says, what are you talking about? Whatever. So anyway, now we have an issue with the lady, the trick-or-treating lady on the porch, because she called the police because she's bleeding. Now we have this comedic moment where the police are interviewing her and she's bleeding out of her mouth. She's still on her porch. Nobody's helping her. She's gushing blood while she's talking. And it is comedic because she doesn't seem to be in pain. And she describes the kid who gave her the apple with the razor blade. And she said, it's a small kid with red hair. Had a Hello Kitty mask on. Had blue overalls. They could have been denim. Well, we know they're corduroy. But anyway, she thought they were denim. And the police officer, and then the lady says, while she's gushing blood out of her mouth, like, so do you know him? And the police officer lady starts connecting the dots and says, yes, I think I do. I think I do. So we have this moment where we realize that the police officer in episode 2 is starting to connect the dots and thinks, well, Jake couldn't operate from a distance a doll like this. If Jake wasn't there and the doll gave her the apple, something is wrong here. Now, we see in episode 1, Jake Googling, doing a search on internet on Chucky, Child's Play, James Lee Ray, and he finds out that the doll was a killer. There are newspapers from the 80s showing it. So I wonder why the police didn't figure that out either. And if these killings were so famous, and if Charles Lee Ray was the famous murderer of that town where they come from, wouldn't that be the first thing the police would kind of know? Wouldn't the police remember that there was, in the 80s, a killer doll amok, and it was kind of him, possessed? I mean, you would do that type of research if you were a cop. That's what I would think. But anyway, they didn't, or not yet. So I guess they can't do their research just yet, because otherwise we wouldn't have a TV show, right? So there are a little bit of some holes in the plot line, but that's okay, because the casting is amazing, and the story is really cool. The cinematography is amazing. The music is to die for. Literally. Great soundtrack, Don Mancini. So anyway, so now we kind of figure out that the police officer's starting to understand, maybe, perhaps, what is going on, even though she finds it really hard to believe that there's a killer doll on the loose. Another funny comedic moment, when the cleaning lady who died on the knives in the Wheeler house was picked up by the police asked the Wheeler family if they, and if the kids or if Junior did not like her. And then the father said, oh no, the cleaning lady was also his nanny. She practically raised him on her own. And of course, his wife is next to him, and the wife looks at him like, how dare you say that in front of me, that I didn't raise my own kid. So the police then asks them, well, how was she, And they say, oh, she was like family to us. She worked for us, but really she was like family. She was cleaning the house and taking care of the kid, but she was like family. And then the police ask the wife, well, okay, well, what's her address? And then the wife says, I don't know. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Well, she lived in the south side of town. And they're like, well, what are her relatives? And then she says, oh, I don't know that either. Oh my gosh, maybe. And then there's this comedic moment where we realize the bourgeoisie of it all, the rich folk that live in their illusions of thinking like, yeah, of course, the cleaning lady's like family, but they don't even know where she lives, how old she was, if she had any children, if she had any family at all. It's like really embarrassing. It's a great moment. I love that Don Mancini built that in. But one interesting point she did mention, she said, well, no, I actually do remember. I think she had a brother, Washington. No, Baltimore. Now, a brother in Baltimore. We do know that in Seed of Chucky, John Waters, who, is famous for living in Baltimore and all of his most famous movies being shot in Baltimore, he was in Seed of Chucky. He was the paparazzi in Seed of Chucky. Now, he does become a victim of Chucky. He does die in Seed of Chucky. But I'm thinking maybe it was a little Easter egg. Maybe that's the brother that passed away was a paparazzi brother who was John Waters living in Baltimore. Maybe that's him. Maybe they're referencing him. Maybe it's a totally different person. Maybe it's never going to be mentioned again. But I thought very fascinating that they pressed on that point of saying that the cleaning lady's brother is from Baltimore. Fast forward to the end of the episode where Jake is waking up in the middle of the night in his, red room in the Black Lodge scenario. And Chucky is on the bed next to him, sitting upwards, just looking at him all night long. And Jake kind of doesn't seem to be bothered by this anymore. He knows that Chucky is creepy. So Chucky's looking at him and says, so he couldn't sleep, huh? And Jake says, no, it's too much happening. And, his black eye. And Chucky says, I'm sorry, I did that. I'm never going to do it again, Jake. And Jake says, yeah, I've heard that before with, DV, domestic, and then V, you connect the dots. We can't say the certain words, although we can't say other words. YouTube is so weird. But anyway, so he promises him never to hit him again. But Jake says, I've been told that, by his father, by all the bullies, and they just keep hitting him all over and over again. So he's it's really, really sad. Like Jake is really giving up. He's like, yeah, you're going to hit me again. It's just that's the way my life is. That's kind of what he implies. He doesn't say it with those words, but that's what he implies. And then Chucky starts kind of brainwashing him and saying, something similar to, because Chucky is around whenever the cops are around as a doll. So he listens to whatever people are saying, and he uses words that other people use as well. We have the scenario of the police officer at one point talking when they picked up the dead cleaning lady. He said, putting knives upwards, dangerous. But then again, this world is a dangerous place. A lot of dangerous things happen, crazy people all around. And it's like he called it the Super Bowl of either bad luck or killing or something like, and we're all sitting in the bleachers or we're all sitting front row or something like that similar. And then at the end of the episode, Chucky uses those same words, but enhances them even more, which makes us think, did he also manipulate the cop, or did he just hear what the cop said and he's kind of using that but adding on top? Basically, he tells Jake, hey, in this world, you either kill or you get killed. Lexi is not going to stop, so we might as well kill her. And then he keeps convincing him that that's the best thing to do. That's the best thing to do. He keeps repeating to him, I'm your best friend till the end, Jake. I'm your only friend. I'm the only person who's there for you. And he he's manipulating him. He's a little parasite, this little creature. So he pulls out of his little pocket here. He has kind of a knife. He has a hole in there. So the knife is dug all the way in. So he pulls out the knife and hands the knife over to Jake and says, Jake, let's do this. Let's kill Lexi. And you have Jake lifting the knife in the middle of the night, and you have the reflection of Chucky's face in the knife. But then as he kind of turns the knife, we see appearing, instead of Chucky's reflection in the knife, in the blade of the knife, we have Jake's face reflecting in the blade of the knife. And we are led to believe that now Chucky has pushed Jake so far to convince him to start killing as well. And that's the end of the episode. Now, I do believe that the little sister is going to be the future killer. Lexi's little sister who loves Chucky. I think Chucky maybe doesn't realize just yet that she's actually the one that he should be manipulating, because she is very, very cold-blooded and susceptible to Chucky. She's attracted by him, literally. But maybe he already is aware of that, and we're just not being told yet how that relationship between Chucky and Lexi's sister is going to pan out. But the episode ends there, and beautifully, masterfully shot, minus a few loopholes in the storytelling, which I forgive because I'm a sucker for Chucky. So there you have it, guys. Subscribe to my channel, thumb up this video if you haven't already. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I am filming this video live during my Halloween live stream, so I have a couple of chats going on in the live chats. Let me read a couple of them. Jesus says, makes me want to watch this. Before, oh my gosh, you see, I was so excited about this one thing in episode 2. I was so excited about it that I forgot to tell you now. And this was my favorite part. Remember when we were talking about episode 1 and I said, what I love about Don Mancini is that evil isn't always evil and good isn't always good. It's very complicated. And when at the end of the episode, Chucky's sitting on the bed looking at Jake sleeping, Jake wakes up, can't sleep. He has the shiner, and Chucky says, I promise I'm not going to hit you again. And Jake says, yeah, I've heard that one before. Chucky says, no, I understand what you're going through. You being gay and all. And Jake says, what do you know about that? And Chucky says, no, I'm honest. My child is gender fluid. I love, and again, you have Chucky turning from this homicidal maniac into an understanding, supporting figure. It's amazing how Don Mancini keeps flipping. You hate him, you love him. You hate him, you love him. And like he was just telling like kill everybody, kill everybody. And now the second thing he's saying is like, yeah, my child is gender fluid. My kid is not a boy or a girl. My kid is gender fluid. I know how it is, and I'm really cool with that. And it's true, because in Seed of Chucky, we are acquainted with Glenn/Glenda, who is his child. And Glenn/Glenda spends the entire movie in Seed of Chucky trying to understand, does Glenn or Glenda want to be a boy or a girl? And of course, I'm not going to spoil to you how that ends, but I am thrilled that Don Mancini, because that movie did kind of flop back then. It's my favorite from the saga, by the way, Seed of Chucky. I'm thrilled that Don Mancini is bringing it back in, that he didn't forget that movie, that he's mentioning Glenn/Glenda. And this brings hope to me, because if Chucky's talking about Glenn or Glenda, I think Glenn/Glenda will appear in the TV show. And boy, oh boy, am I excited for that. I'm so excited for that. I can't even tell you how excited I am for Glenn/Glenda appearing. If that happens, that would be amazing. But it was mentioned, and it was my favorite part of episode 2. I was like so in like, oh my God, the revelation moment. And I forgot to tell you guys, because it was the best part of that episode that I just blacked it out because I was so waiting to tell you. But yeah. Anyway, so thumb up the video, subscribe to my channel, get the Halloween merch that's available until the 31st of October. I'm actually wearing the Super Dacob Halloween merch right now. The beating heart and the skeleton, the Never Give Up on Love, Never Give Up on Dead Love, Super Dacob Halloween merch. So Jack D says, that'll have people watching that film now, says Jack. Yes, I think referencing Glenn/Glenda in the TV show and Chucky saying, hey, that's my kid, and I support my child, and I support the fact that my kid is gender fluid, and the fact that Jake is openly gay, and we have like the gay flag in his room. Like now in episode 2, his Twin Peaks room is adapting. It was all empty when he first moved in, and now he hung up the gay flag in there. Like he's proud. And I love the fact that we have that in a horror series. Besides the fact that in a horror series, homosexuality and horror, that's a whole other topic to discuss. And they're very, very connected and intertwined. Horror stories and horror telling with the tribulations and trials and tribulations that homosexuals have to go through on a daily basis. So the fact that Don Mancini is also openly gay and that he touches base on these topics so openly, but in such a clear, definitive, and simple manner is really, really, really great. And it's a very refreshing approach to the whole topic of homosexuality within television and film. Oh, and by the way, even though this is a TV show, the quality of it, cinematographically speaking, it's film quality. You feel like you're watching a movie. It's masterfully shot, masterfully lit and filmed. And I could just keep on talking forever. I mean, there's going to be 10 episodes, so we're just on episode 2. So you best believe I'm going to be blabbering with you every week about every new episode that comes out. Jesus says, serial killer getting his pronouns right. Yes. Serial killer getting a serial killer doll getting their pronouns right. I wonder how Chucky keeps in touch with his kids, says Jack. I hope that we're going to find this out in the series. Hopefully in season 2. Hopefully there will be a season 2. Jack says everything has loopholes now. Oh my God, they finally confirmed it in words. Love that. Yes, Jack, they confirmed it in words, but loopholes. It's not like Don Mancini had control over every movie in the saga. So there are some loopholes, there are some loose ends. It's kind of hard to connect all the movies together. There are some discrepancies in the logic, but he's trying to weave it all together. And it's okay. I mean, you can't see Chucky. We don't know how Chucky made it into the cellar with the kid playing video games, how he made it into the bedroom under the bed with the knife. But it is what it is. The scenes that we have with him are just incredible. You do feel like there's a bit of CGI with his facial movement from time to time, but most of it is done with puppeteering and puppetry. So it is really, really beautiful to see Chucky actually as a doll, just like he is now. You know, this is a kind of a one-to-one prop of Chucky from Child's Play 2 /1, including the little shoes and nuggets. But you could check out the review of this little fella and the unboxing also of the seed of Chucky, also available on Totally Dacob, my channel. I'll link it down below, or I'll just put it in the card section up above. So there you have it, guys. You look magnificent, Dacob, says Sharon Cole. Thank you so much, Sharon. Serial killer getting pronouns. Oh, Glenn or Glenda. Aisha, I know you watched it. You loved it too, right? So there you go. Sharon Cole says, I love that one. Which one do you... Oh, Seed of Chucky. And I do hope that people are going to watch Seed of Chucky. It's a great movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about Chucky the series in the comment section down below. And let me know what you thought about episode 2 as well. I would love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, never forget to never give up on Child's Play love. Bye.